Welcome to the Burning Pallets podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Ryan Boland.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here again with Burning Pallets podcast, along with Mike Hoey.
Hey, everybody.
And the man, the myth, and the legend, Jake. I won't pronounce your last name.
Ojeda.
I would have went opposite. I see your emails all the time. I just don't pay attention to the last name.
I'm not going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah, the J is an H. So.
Yep.
Ojeda.
Ojeda.
There you go.
I respond to a lot of things.
But we're here at the Impressions trade show in Long Beach. Actually, I'm gonna start off. I kind of got a bone to pick with Jake.
Okay.
Are you serious? You're going to throw this on him already?
I do.
It wasn't me.
It was actually you and Tito, and I'm gonna bring this up with Tito as well.
Okay.
They went to a golf tournament, and I wasn't invited.
We did.
And
which one?
And I love playing golf.
You do? I didn't.
I do like playing golf, and have no invites yet.
Okay.
And you used to live on Kramer Mountain, right?
I did. Yeah, I lived in Cramerton, in Kramer Mountain.
Yeah, but yeah, so golf.
Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about golf.
So are you a scratch golfer, Ryan? Where are you at on the whole handicap scenario?
Don't keep that score.
Then you'd fit right into our foursome.
I'm a partaking of drinking and that sort of thing, and playing golf.
I consider myself a handicap golfer because I can't golf at all. So I'm just, I'm handicapped when it comes to golfing.
Yeah, golf's a sport you need to practice, right? Play once a week.
I wish.
Hit the range.
Yeah, I don't go to the driving range. It would just screw up my game. So I literally go straight from the car to the golf cart to hole one.
To the beer.
Yes.
The whiskey.
I at least wait to hole two for the beer.
Okay.
So does your game improve
no, it does
once
not.
You've had a couple?
There's a fine line.
It loosens you up, right?
It loosens you up to maybe the third beer, and then it starts going down.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, it's probably the third shot is when I start to go downhill.
So your golf score is like a histogram that peaks at hole 3, 4, and then it's just straight down.
Like a parabola. Is that right?
I'm going for a dictionary. You threw something on me, Jake. I'm most dreadfully embarrassed.
Isn't that the parabola that goes up and down? Yeah. We're going to have to look this up. Somebody Google that for me.
Yeah, Adam.
It is a parabola.
Okay, yeah. See that there's we have our IQ over there on the board. Right, when something goes outside of our scope.
We keeping score over here? No. All right, so let's talk about this golf tournament. Is this the one, the charity golf outing?
Yeah, it was. I was joking. It was just messing around. But it was a good call. It was a good charity event. I mean,
yeah.
It was GSG, right?
Yeah, so
they do it right.
It's the Hank Granberry Charity Classic. And it's all about pancreatic cancer.
That video I saw, they had tons of people say they did it right. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's money. I think it's the 25th annual. I know they've been doing it for quite a few years, but they raise money for pancreatic cancer every year. They raise quite a bit of money. A lot of the industry goes to sponsor.
Yeah.
So it's a good event.
It looked really good, actually. I mean, I know you don't play golf, Mike, and you have no clue.
No,
but GSG throws a nice golf tournament.
Yeah, I'm an excellent caddy. Yeah. I can drive the cart, and I can give advice on
which club to use.
Yeah, which club to use. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, back to Avient. Back to why we're here. Screen printing. I know Avient they've got the victory colors and they got the chill colors, and it's a forever expanding.
You guys are monsters in the industry. You're eating.
At least you didn't call us gorillas. Yeah.
But no, Avient is pulling all these brands under one umbrella. So from a customer standpoint, like I just came out of the industry. What are the advantages and what are some of the disadvantages when you have so many brands to manage? And how are you guys all sorting this out?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're definitely a collection of brands. A lot of it was through acquisitions over the years. Poly One acquires Rutland. Rutland had acquired QCM and Print Top. And then after those two came together, we made another acquisition of Magnacolor.
Yeah.
So And really, each brand is very different, right? You got different technologies. And then you really have a different following of the brands. If you look at a Wilflex customer versus a Rutland customer, they have very different needs, really, of what they like in an ink. So we try to keep the brands different as far as technology and what they offer and what the printer likes. But the main thing is the distribution. We have multiple distributors, so having different brands really allows them to compete in their region without having the same product, right? So hopefully it's good for the distributors as well, right? Where you're not saying, I have the same product, I can offer it to you 10% cheaper.
So what you're saying is that the customer did not suffer in this because you've kept all the brands out there, so people that were brand loyal.
Correct.
And so you don't have a lot of crossover, and you just haven't said, oh, well, we've already got a good white, so we're just going to just have one white now. We're going to just sell everybody the same thing, right?
Exactly. No, people like, people like the products that they use, but they really like the differentiation between a Wilflex and a Rutland white. And, Max probably could tell you all the details about long body, short body, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to get into that. We'll let the technical people talk about that. But if you've been using, Street Fighter 2 your whole life, I'm not going to be able to convert you to Amazing Bright Tiger, right? You just like that product. You've been using it. You're used to it. You've dialed your operations into that. So, I always use the example, I like Diet Coke. If I go into a restaurant and they only have Pepsi, I drink sweet tea, right?
That's funny. That's funny. The Street Fighter, I actually just started messing around with that. This is Street Fighter right here. I wanted to do this, some T-shirts, and we have all, it's like I'm like a kid in a candy store at Texsource. Okay. Because I get to access all these different products, and everybody's like, Mike, what white do you use? And it's hard to answer that question. It really is. But no, the Street Fighter, I see why people are fans of the Street Fighter white. I was like, this is, I liked it.
Avient's done a really good job with having all those brands and still being able to keep them all separate, and also please all the customers and dealers and vendors and everybody. There's a lot of different brands, and Avient's done really well with keeping everybody in line and separate.
No, it hasn't been easy, right? You have really, you think about whites, you got your 3 whites, your cotton, your low bleed or 50/50, and your polys, right? And then in there you have different price points, right? And I always like to say good, better, best. Yeah. So that's what we try to do, but even if you try to compare, people will say, well, what's the Wilflex comparison to a Street Fighter 2? Like, there's things that are close, but they're going to be different, right? And one might be a little bit more expensive than the other. What I like about Street Fighter, it's a good value for the price point. Yeah. You're not going to find a better quality white for that price point.
I agree with you, because then I don't have to say you have to buy the most expensive ink to get a good ink.
Right.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. As far as where Street Fighter, and I think that's why you have the fans that you do with that ink.
Good. No, and I know people were concerned. Are you gonna, to your point, are you gonna just make one white and you're gonna put the same formula in all the buckets? And that was never the intent, and that's not the intent. We like to keep these brands. If you look at our booth, you can see it from here. Look at the different brands we've got and the prints, and they're all a little bit different.
By the way, those guys putting that booth together were struggling.
Oh, really?
Well, which booth was that?
The Avient right over there.
That's why we pay someone to do it.
I saw this. I saw the guys in their little show T-shirts, and they were sweating. And I think it was like we were 2-3 o'clock yesterday, and none of the T-shirts were up yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had a lot. Anyways, had a lot of work. It looks good.
There might have been some OSHA violations going on there. I'm not sure.
I'm going to put earmuffs, but I already got headphones on, so I can't do it.
Yeah, HR earmuffs, as we used to call them. When you didn't want to hear an employee come up and tell you something, HR earmuffs, we'd yell that out. Yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
What's your daily activity? What are you doing since I just met you?
Yeah, so we've actually implemented a couple changes here recently. We just announced. So previously I was the sales director for the Americas. So that was North America, Central, and South America. and we just made a change. So I'm still going to continue to be the sales director for U.S. and Canada, the North America part. Someone's going to take over the LATAM responsibility as far as sales management. And then I'm picking up marketing again. I used to be the marketing director. I kind of gave that up when I took over the sales director role. So I'm keeping part of the sales role and taking over all of the marketing.
With you saying that, in your opinion, what is the difference and some of the misconceptions from marketing to sales?
Oh, that's a good one. So I always say sales is in the moment right now, right? We're talking about what can we sell now, what can we sell tomorrow, but it's about today. Marketing is a lot more about what are we going to be selling 6, 8, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, right? Because I'm doing product development now. I mean, some of the things we're showing today at the show, we started developing over a year ago. And really, marketing is more about understanding, the customer perspective, and then how do we turn that into a product line, right? Because you talk to sales guys, they're always like, oh, give me a cheaper white, give me a cheaper this.
Yeah.
But on the marketing side, when you start hearing from customers and talk about sustainability and things like that, that's, sustainability is not going to be cheaper, right? It's going to be more expensive. Raw materials are more expensive. But if that's what the market's going for, we got to look to develop something that's going to address that.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you explained that to people, because I think people think that marketing and sales are the same, or a lot of times they're not even close to each other. They're two different creatures in lots of organizations.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens, and when you have that disconnect, I think that's when it becomes an issue. So having sales and marketing together, I mean, they really got to work hand in hand, and we actually do a good job, our product managers working with our sales team and vice versa. But now having responsibility for both in the U.S. and Canada, I think will help streamline that quite a bit.
Yeah.
What about the, you got so many different brands. You guys manufacture in different states, that's the thing, but I know the one in Georgia that we're most familiar with. How do you keep everything separate, the quality control? I mean, I don't know if that can be spoke on, but I mean, there's so many brands in one building.
Right. So all of U.S. and Canada brands are produced in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay.
We have a manufacturing facility in Peru, in Lima, and that's just print top. That's all they make there. And then in Barnsley in the UK, we just make Magna there. And then in Shenzhen, in China, we do make some Wilflex, and we've just started to make some Rutland there as well. But you're right, the most complex would be Kennesaw, because they would make all the brands there except Magna and Print Top.
So the Aquarius is there as well?
Aquarius is produced in Georgia, yes, in Kennesaw.
Gotcha.
Can you tell me why Max went completely dead silent when I asked him where the pigments come from, because nobody knows?
Actually, we have a lot of, pigments, you bring them in and then you can either mill them and make your own dispersions, and we do some of that, but we also buy dispersions as well. We have a lot of suppliers. If you think about it, through the acquisition, Wilflex used different pigments and different suppliers than Rutland. QCM had their own. When we developed Aquarius, we have some other pigments because they got to be water-based. So, it's still something we're working through. But, the pigments are really, the pigment concentrates kind of are purchased, and then we, in-house, we kind of make them into
But the colors themselves, like if I need to make blue anything, am I grinding a rock down? Am I digging a hole in Thailand 100 feet deep to find the pigments? I mean, that's always been a mystery to me.
Oh, really?
Where does color come from?
Yeah, so, I mean, some of it is I'm not the technical person, right? But some of it is, I think blue is it is some kind of mineral, and I forget.
Minerals.
Is it cobalt blue? Something
Maybe,
like that. Yeah. So they use that. Like I said, we don't make the pigments, we buy the pigments, but then we make them into the dispersions and the different pigment concentrates.
Yeah. I just know on the consumer side, we always learned that fluorescents were always the most expensive and the most transparent. So
Correct.
We had to do things to, print fluorescents in a different way than we could with opaque inks, for example.
Right.
But yeah, when I mentioned that, Max, he clammed up. You were going to say something.
Well, because those two things Max would not answer. That was one question.
All right.
Yeah.
My question he wouldn't answer. You heard the concept of, and Mike has never heard this, but I'm going to keep it PG. Kill one, marry one, screw one.
Okay.
Never heard that?
Is that a Southern saying?
See, that's what I said. Dude, we're on the same page.
So
Jake.
it's basically you have these 5 different options. You gotta pick one that you would marry. You gotta choose one that you would kill and not care about, and then then the next one would be screw one.
Okay.
So we're gonna leave the last part out. So
Okay.
so you have to pick one that you want to keep
Yeah.
and kill one that you could care less about.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't say care less, because then you're not gonna answer the question.
You have to slaughter the weakest pig.
You're about to give me some options here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll play along.
Wolflex.
What's the runt? What's the runt of the litter?
All right, so you got
Okay.
pick one, slaughter one. Wolflex, Rutland, Union, QCM, Magna, Aquarius,
Print top.
Can you choose one, and can you kill one off?
Yeah, I mean,
Max wouldn't answer it.
we've always talked about, so print top's very regional, right? That's Central America. QCM is one that's really struggled in that us customers, we've had some distributors that were concerned, oh, you're going to kill QCM, you're going to get rid of it, and we haven't, right? We chose not to. We've consolidated the line quite a bit, but obviously it's our smallest product line. We have less distributors there. If we had to pick one tomorrow that we were going to get rid of, I think QCM would be the obvious choice.
Ryan, we finally get an answer. I think Max was afraid that, like I said, he would be in the HR office after the podcast for answering that.
But to my QCM distributors, we have no plans to kill QCM.
This is
I'm
all
just
hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Well, it's okay if you're the run of the litter. We still love you. My dog was the runt that nobody wanted. We love the dog, but in a different world, that dog would have been, would have been kicked out of the nest, so to speak, right?
Yeah. So now we said I got to marry one, right?
What's your favorite?
Does polygamy count? Can I marry two? Yeah. Is polygamy an option?
In Utah, I think.
In Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna turn it around. Like, if I had to pick, right? If we really think if the industry is really going to go water-based at some point, and water-based is the future, Magna's obviously our best water-based brand. I mean, that's why we purchased it. I honestly don't think that's the case. I think water-based definitely has a place, and it is more sustainable. But there's just so many benefits to Plastisol that you can't get out of water-based. And there's some sustainability aspects of Plastisol too, right? Like, it never dries on the screen.
Yeah.
You can recycle it. It really doesn't go bad at all, right? It'll last forever. So that's what I'm gonna say.
That's good.
So,
I got an answer.
So which one are you going to marry?
I'm going to marry Magna because
Nice. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, well, because I can't marry Wolflex or Rutland because then I'd piss off too many people. So.
True. It's easy to choose a water-based brand.
If water-based is the future, if people are right, and that's where the industry is going to go long term.
They've been saying that forever.
I know.
We all thought, 15 years ago that, Plastisol's, when they started taking stuff out of it. First, they take the lead away from us, Jake.
Right.
We needed the lead. That's the only thing that kept printers crazy enough to keep the presses going.
Right.
Then they take phylates out, and now PVCs. What are they going to take out next is what I wonder. But you're right, Plastisol. We had ink that was 15 years old that just needed a little bit of stir, and it was good to go.
Yeah, you probably still have some buckets on your shelf that are 10 years old.
Victor has buckets on the shelf.
Victor,
That's
I believe it.
30 years old.
He didn't throw anything away.
No.
We actually he had tons of stuff that were probably 2015, I don't know. Put all on a pallet. One of our customers in Wilmington wanted it. Sent it all to him, and he's using all of it. So, but yeah, Victor's got some old stuff.
Yeah, it was actually a registered antique.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Smithsonian asked for at least some of the labeling off.
Yeah,
of it.
probably. Yeah, we should have come to you when we were doing a history of labels. Probably.
Hey, you guys are still upgrading your label or updating.
Yeah,
it's good.
We got a new logo for the Rutland brand. Last year we put a new logo in. We did a new logo for Union. That went over well. So we are doing some rebranding.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. Well, Jake, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll hold up all your time. I know you got a big booth you got to take care of.
Right.
Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity. This was fun. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for picking a water base over Plastisol. But
or
As a safe answer. Hey, he answered. It was safe, though.
or telling us the secrets of where color comes
that's
from.
right. And I could be totally wrong. I don't know.
But minerals, right?
Minerals.
They're minerals.
Yeah, some of them are minerals. Yep, absolutely right.
Okay, so the rumor's not true. They don't use the gizzards of baby seals to get any pigments out.
Correct.
I think he was afraid that that was the answer, and he didn't help with that when he clammed up. He did not help. It's all safe minerals that are friendly to all of us.
Make sure you ask Tito your 3-part questions. Yeah.
So I'm allowed to. Max asked me if I was going to ask anybody else. One person I was scared to ask would be Tito, so I can ask him.
Any other?
Yeah, I think so.
Any other good questions for Tito?
I got a list, but
of questions for Tito.
But anything that would give us a little inside track, get him to open up, and maybe nothing he would share unless we cracked it open and let it come out of him.
No, definitely sustainability, right? What are we doing there, and what's our long-term plan on sustainability? We've got a new product here, the bioplastisol, but we do have a lot of things we're working on to make our products more sustainable. Some of it, he could probably talk about, and there's other things that are still in development, but we think that's the future, sustainability, and there's no reason why plastisol can't be sustainable.
Yeah, we're hearing that a lot today. The last podcast, sustainability. Ryan hates it.
I don't recycle.
Yeah, but it's something that's changed.
It is. You have to embrace it.
The next generation, that's important to them, right? What's your sustainability goals? What are you doing to be more sustainable? And they'll pay more for it.
Yeah, well, to do my fair part, I did drink out of a paper straw, and I didn't complain. So, but welcome to California, paper straw.
We had a paper straw in and out.
So I felt that. Yeah, I felt this straw, and I'm like, this is a really thick straw, man. This is a quality straw. And I opened it up, and it's like paper. And I was like, okay, all right, then I've done my part.
What's interesting is, so Avient as a corporation, we deal a lot with plastics, and we had done a study, and it's actually making paper straws consumes, I can't remember, 10 times more water than making plastic straws.
Oh my Lord.
So even though, yes, it's sustainable and it will biodegrade, the whole thing about plastics is we have an issue with the recycling, and obviously Ryan's one of them. He's contributing to the problem, but plastics aren't the problem, it's the recycling of them, right? That's why it ends up
it's the individual.
In the rivers, it goes into the ocean because people don't recycle. And
well, you remember like the 6-pack little plastic things, that held a 6-pack together.
Oh yeah,
so it had 6 holes on them, and they want you to cut them apart.
I cut them.
Yeah, he's doing his part.
I cut
and that's good.
The rings.
Hey, we got to start somewhere, right?
Ryan.
That's the extent of my sustainability.
Yeah, he cut because
we don't want any
baby seals getting their necks.
Cats caught up in the things, or
no kidding. Back before that was a thing, people were cutting those so animals wouldn't get their little. I caught a 6-pack of geese once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like 6 of them. I pulled them up like a 6-pack.
I got my second sustainability.
Okay.
Cans, canned food, canned dog food, whatever. After I open it, I squeeze the can so no animals can get the head stuck in there.
Oh, really?
So I close that like a can of food.
This is touching, Ryan. I'm learning a lot about you.
You do care, Ryan. You say you don't care, but look at
the tough guy image is starting to come down. We see the softer,
we're peeling back the onion here.
Yes, we are. All right, we're way out in the weeds.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you coming on again.
Am I allowed to ask questions here now?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of consolidation in the industry. You guys are part of it. I mean, what are you seeing, and what do you guys expect to see in the next few years as far as distribution consolidating in the market?
You want to start?
Well, I think that Texsource has a very diverse product line, and I think that is one of its strengths, where you're not just going to our website and you don't have, we're playing to our customers. We're keeping that so you have choices, and I think that's a good thing for Texsource always to seek out as many products that fit with our customers. And the choice is a good thing. So from the outside, when companies start doing the mergers and acquisitions, it's refreshing to hear that they're going to keep those brands separate, because that allows our customers to use the products they want that fit within their budget and where they're at. Some printers are going to buy the cheapest ink out there. That's just who it is. So we have to offer that. But for the people that want the highest quality print, they're going to have to pay more, but in turn get more. But yeah, a lot of the products, the chemicals and stuff have changed since when I first started, where you were knee deep into raw mineral spirits if you were working back in the 80s, and I'm surprised that we survived that.
And they're still using them.
Yeah, we have some customers that they're cleaning their screens with gasoline and stuff. I mean,
truly, yeah.
And screen opener, I can't stand. I love what the product can do, but man, I run. That's some that's some terrible stuff right there.
All right,
Ryan,
what's that?
Are you?
Oh, the acquisitions, consolidations. Yeah. It's happening more and more, and it's moving. It seems like it's moving towards East Coast, and you got. I mean, I don't know who we're name dropping here, but it's good and bad in a way. Like Mike touched on a subject that keeping the customer base and those products within if an acquisition happens, keeping the customer base, keeping the customers happy, keeping the products and brands, and we're talking about buying the companies, keeping those brands intact with each company versus someone coming in to buy someone out and just, rip the company apart or just turn it over to what the acquiring company pushes more. But like you're touching on brands and customers, keeping those customers happy when those acquisitions happen is a big thing.
Yeah, Texsource is growing. Just since the last year since I've worked for Texsource, our footprint, we're expanding. And in my, I'm no, bean counter business guy, but it sort of makes sense that as you expand, your buying power and influence becomes greater, and that allows you to deliver a better price to the end customer.
Okay.
Right. So, but some things in our country have went off the rails when Walmart has closed every hardware store down, and the mom and pop shop. The guy where he would sell you the part but tell you how to fix your toilet. You go into Walmart, you have to know, but it's all cheap. Right. It's all cheap. So it's a double-edged sword either way you go. It's finding a balance where, at least for us, where I'm at, what I'm worried about is maintaining a level of service to our customers where we can educate them and help them grow. Because if they grow and we help them do that, we're hoping for loyalty, right? And that's why I came to Texsource and said, hey, I want to get out of the trenches and work for you guys, because I shared their vision.
Good.
Cool. Well, again, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
That was a lot of fun. Since you're moving into marketing, if you want to try and bring Burning Pallets to Avient one day, let us know.
Okay, yeah. We could definitely do something in our facility, or even bring some of our product managers on.
Yeah.
Put them under the fire.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you,
guys.
Jake.